The first item on the agenda is to review and approve the 7/23, July 23rd. Hi, Catherine.
In person yet.
I read the minutes and I'm fine with it.
Yeah, they look good.
I read
Good
it
job.
all, I'm fine.
A motion to approve the minutes from the July 23rd meeting. Have a second? Second.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that's approved. Unanimously. Before you move on, you are required to send
I know, I need to send them to
Denise.
Denise. I saw the email.
Have you sent the other?
I have not. I meant to do that today. I haven't done yet, but I will do them all together.
She posts them and puts them up on the website for the public to read.
Yes, no, that I know. We used to have the chair used to send them after it was approved, but I think we switched that, but I wasn't aware of it, so I will send them to her.
If we need, I probably have them all in my email
I
somewhere,
do
so.
also have.
You do,
them.
okay. Cool.
As long as they're all approved with no changes,
If there's any that are
Then-
missing, just.
because I don't think anything had changes
Okay.
that I recall.
Not that I remember.
So then I'll just send the ones that were draft that are not approved.
Okay.
I just didn't get to it today.
The minutes look great though.
And just remember, I sent her one.
Well, that was what,
That was the June or
it
July.
was the June one because I missed that. I was out sick and that was what touched off the whole thing. So, yeah, I do remember.
Okay. The next item on the agenda is the treasurer's report. Sounds like
There isn't a treasurer's report this month, but as I have heard, we haven't used any money this month, so it probably is the same numbers from last month.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
but
last-
it's not an official report.
In July, in the minutes that I'm familiar with because I just wrote it today, it said that you were missing one of the accounts and you were asking for clarification from Ken. That was back in July, so. Did you get any clarification from Ken as to why he didn't send it was for the 25,000
Oh,
file that we got from
that
the
account.
CNC. Yeah, and
No, I did not.
you had sent him like the line item or the number of the account inquiry, but
No, I haven't heard. from him.
at the time we had not gotten
I'll
anything.
work on him again.
might have a visitor online. Did somebody just join the meeting?
Scott Garland.
Oh, hi, Scott. Okay, so, next item on the agenda is the West Upton visioning. There is gonna be a walking tour September 13th, from 9 to 10 a.m. at the Maya Grill parking lot. That's where it's gonna start. And, after that, on the same day, at the community center, there's gonna be a discussion about the visioning process from 10 to 1 at the community center. So there'll be two events on the 13th. Yeah.
This Saturday.
This Saturday from
Saturday.
9 to 10 is the tour and the discussion is at the community center from 10 to,
10 to 1. Okay. So
I just want to make sure I have it right.
that'll be a 3-hour discussion.
Oh, fun times.
Where's the meeting for the walking tour?
You know the Maya Grill, the Mexican restaurant where the old Woods drugstore was?
Yeah, yeah.
For us.
He knows the things that have been gone for 20 years. He's like, oh yeah, of course I know where that is.
Russ might not.
Russ knows where everything is all the time.
I don't pay any attention to Mexican restaurants.
Okay. Oh, I skipped one, I'm sorry. Updates from the historical commission mailbox. I didn't know that. I didn't get a chance to check that. I was gonna check it today, but I didn't get an opportunity, so not sure if there's anything in there.
Absolutely not, if it's like most days.
Sometimes we get the
Occasionally
letter
we get something.
from Upton State Forest. Okay, so the next item on the agenda is for our friends in the audience, the criterion report for, oh no, I'm sorry, not that, actually I skipped one, sorry. Criterion report for the Holy Angels Church. That was discussed at the last select board meeting. The final price, if my memory serves me from the meeting last night, was 3.2 million for everything. That's soup to nuts to move in ready. So the select board is still trying to figure out how to proceed, whether they want to make a warrant article or not make a warrant article. Ed and I had attended the CPC meeting, and the request to the CPC was, from the select board, was to hire an OPM, because by the time you exceed the $1.5 million mark for renovations, you have to hire an OPM by law. So the select board had asked the CPC to approve or discuss if they wanted to approve hiring the OPM. And the conversation kind of went a different direction. And there's some discussion between Kathy Robinson and Mike Penko, who is the chair of the CPC. And they kind of went back and forth, and they ended up saying that they would rather advise that they seal the envelope of the building, which would be fixing the roof, taking out the insulation, putting in new insulation, sealing the steeple, and painting it. That
Is
would
there
be the envelope.
a price allotted to just that, the sealing the envelope of the building? but
Yes.
Not doing the internal renovation?
Yes, I'm not exactly sure. It was kind of, so the engineering report in July came back and said that sealing the envelope would be $600,000, but I think they might have revised that to 800,000. But it was below the threshold of 10.5 million, so therefore it doesn't trigger hiring the OPM. However, Dennis Westgate during the select board meeting last night says you can't, there's a law against incremental bidding on a project, so you have to have the whole sum. You can't just, do a little bit here and a little bit there, I guess.
If they
So-
couldn't go for historical preservation funding and
I think we're gonna look at that.
separately, and that's for external.
Scott,
Yeah.
could you mute your mic at home, Scott, please?
Yeah, we got a lot of feedback.
Yeah, a lot of feedback, but no, I'm here.
Yeah, my concern, which I raised in that meeting, was that this whole thing to me is getting way out of hand.
Yeah.
The original focus that was given to Dennis Westgate 2 years ago was to review all the town buildings and determine what repairs are needed, what maintenance is needed. Holy Angels was included in that, and it was, all right, let's paint it. I was concerned at the time because I said putting a roof on it would seem to me far more important than painting it.
Right.
Now we've got, let's do this, that, and everything else, insulate and everything else, $800,000, when that building could be carpentry repaired, a new roof put on it, siding repaired and painted for probably $200,000. I don't know how this whole thing with the engineering firm, we gotta hire a project manager, and all the debate about that. And write a warrant article when it seems to me the focus of the select board ought to be repair the enclosure to preserve the building, because there is no plan to do anything with it. There's no plan to make it a public space. There's no plan to do anything. But let's restore the outside and keep the water out, and the weather out. There's no point insulating it because you're not going to put heating in it.
Right.
Unless you do a 100%, $3.2 million, whatever that's going to get you, for a building that has no purpose, no use.
Right.
So I don't know how we get that focus back to the select board, that our concern is to preserve the structure.
Right.
Which is carpentry, some siding, roofing, and paint.
Yes, I agree.
And that's far less than the engineers have proposed at $600,000 or $800,000.
Yeah, right.
In my humble opinion.
Can we send them some kind of a,
Maybe that's what we need to do.
Yeah, I mean, we can send them a letter saying like, we want the focus to be on,
I mean, that was their focus originally, was to give
Want to
Dennis the
return
responsibility
focus.
for town buildings, because nobody had it, and to preserve the exterior. Maybe they need to tear down the handicap ramp, if somebody tries to walk on it and gets severely injured.
guys. That's right.
I'm glad you had spoke up during that meeting though, because I think it changed the,
Because the whole focus seemed to be the engineers say we need 1.8+ million, and it's like, that wasn't, it was the engineer to review it and say, what does the building need? But there was never any discussion about let's do all this.
right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm glad you spoke up because it kind of changed the focus, and I think we're back on the right track.
well, we don't know if they're back on the right
I
track.
don't hear the
Well, we don't have a track
Do it-
to be
do
on,
it,
but.
You know, but I think it's important that we put our input in, let them know that, we think that, it should be made
If we,
sound
if
from
we
the
strongly
exterior.
recommend that the exterior be, preserved, repaired and preserved, so that the buildings can stand while discussions can be had. That the historical commission wants the building preserved.
I guess we could put in our own input from the historical commission.
Yeah, absolutely. And certainly there's no point in asking about it here if we're not gonna write them a note. Because
Right,
what are they gonna do? They're gonna watch the video and be like, oh,
right.
I guess that's a good idea. Yeah, so we should write them a letter
Okay,
that says what it says. At least, like, if they've got extra money that they're gonna throw at things because they're just feeling super rich today, I'm not gonna be like mad about it, but I don't want the warrant article to fail.
We just voted $30-something million for school repairs.
Somebody feels cheap.
So $3 million on that, and you're talking about, a DPW building and everything, I think very, very quickly lose focus of kind of what's important.
Right. So I feel like if you got a $200,000 warrant article, that's a lot easier to get.
Couldn't they write for one of the grants from the state, like we got for the Grange?
Well, if somebody were to get a $2 million grant, I'd be more in favor of doing something to the building, but I haven't heard
I
anybody
mean,
discuss grant writing in dollar
I mean, it certainly would qualify.
the other side of this is, the Kathy Robinson during that meeting said, one, we don't have a plan, and two, we don't have a use. So, the 140 Arts is now a official nonprofit 501c3. So they're gonna be meeting with the select board to see if they can set up a public-private partnership, which is what Apple Tree Arts had done in Grafton. So if, in the event that that happens, I think Apple Tree 140 Arts could apply for grants through the public-private partnership, so the town could apply for grants, and also the private enterprise or organization could apply for grants. So there might be a lot of grant opportunities.
To your point, John, is one of the things that stood out very much in the grant I wrote for the Grange was, what is the future use of the building?
Oh.
That came up several times, not just once. That was an
Yeah.
important focus that they were going to look at to decide who's going to get our grant money after we get all the applications. And to say, well, we're trying to fix the building so it stands here 100 years from now, but what are you going to use it for? Well, we have no idea.
Yeah. I mean,
It's even more very far.
I think they don't want to be throwing money at what is essentially a white elephant. So if you have a use for it, then that's going to make it much more likely that you're going to get grant money. And yeah, I think it's important to highlight that some of the things might be useful down the road, but we don't want the building to rot while we're arguing about what we're using it for, and while we're waiting to know what grant money might or might not be available or apply for, whatever. And the whole point is to keep it doesn't do us any good if it rots in place while we're,
Discussing it.
dithering. So,
That's a good point.
and that's already been happening and has been happening for
And
several
they
years.
already have $60,000 remaining for the money that the town people approved 20 months ago.
Yeah.
We approved 110 and they painted the Northern Racine for 35-ish. There's money already approved for All Angels.
Right.
We're all talking 60 to 800,000. We're going to ignore the fact that 60,000 approved, it's not going to get you. It always disturbs me when you get the engineers involved. Oh, that's going to cost 800,000 to paint this.
In gold.
I mean, we did the Grange for 215,000, and that included insulating it, paving the parking lot. It didn't include paying prevailing wage, but that's not an enormous amount. It would add probably 30% to it. So we would go from 215 to 280 or something.
Mhm.
The Holy Angel's a little bit bigger building, it's a little bit more, but still, it doesn't need to be insulated. And I think one of the proposals, which may be raising the price, is I think they're suggesting removing all siding and wrapping it with something like Tyvek.
Yeah, I did say
Because
that.
there was the commentary about you can't insulate a building that doesn't have that, and I think that's an absurd statement, but that's from the engineers, they get paid big bucks, I'm not.
And we insulated the Grange.
It's like the great, that building is built the same
I
time.
was gonna say, we have many buildings in this town that are insulated with something that
Yep.
aren't wrapped in Tyvek.
As long as they're watertight, you know, you're not gonna prevent all the moisture from coming through, but you don't need it.
Well, and old
That
buildings are
proposal
supposed to breathe
suggests taking
anyway.
historic siding and replacing it with brand new siding, which kind of defeats the purpose of restoring a building,
Yeah, exactly.
so. my 2 cents worth.
Yeah. Yeah,
Write a
so
letter.
write a letter.
And we have Dennis in charge now, so.
Yeah.
Which might help.
Okay, so do we need to make a motion for sending them a letter or?
I think so.
I don't think we technically need to make a motion if we're not spending money.
Okay, works for me. Okay, great. So we'll take that as an action item. Okay, so the next item on the agenda is, update from CPC, Russ Wood and John Kehoe. So during the CPC meeting, Mike Panko, was asking us, who our representative was. He thought it was still us. But we changed that during the last meeting. We
It's
voted
not election.
on Kehoe. So we emailed the CPC and notified them that John Kehoe is now the representative. So they would like you to attend, you and John to attend the next meeting on October 1st. Yeah. And just, you know, notify them that John's the new rep.
Assuming John is still with us.
Assuming John's still with us.
Did John attend the August meeting to your knowledge? The August CPC meeting?
I didn't make it.
So you don't
It
know.
was held,
Because where Mike suggested, was kind of surprised that we had a new representative. Yes, John didn't attend the August CPC meeting.
No.
He certainly didn't attend last week's meeting,
No.
and he's not here tonight. And he hasn't emailed somebody to tell us he can't be here.
Right. Yeah, so in the event that he decides to withdraw, if that is a possibility, then we might have to elect somebody else to the CPC, but I guess. we'll cross it.
Cross that bridge when we come to it.
Okay, but I'm gonna attend the October 1st meeting too, so
yeah,
I'll be with you there.
October 1st.
October 1st, yep, that's an easy one right now.
Yeah,
So, next item on the agenda is Heritage Day. I emailed the Historical Commission to see if they was interested in doing Heritage Day. I didn't get any emails back, so I'm assuming we just skip it for this year, or I won't be here, so I won't be able to.
We'll do it. I mean, I honestly forgot that you even sent it. I don't know if I just didn't see it or what, but I just kind of assumed that I'd do it with
Oh, okay.
somebody else ideally.
Well, I'm there, so I would
You
have
can't- you
a
can't
hard
do it.
time sitting myself down in one.
Who's gonna
place.
come sit with me?
Yeah, you probably don't want to.
I don't want to do it by myself. It's a lot. I've done it before all by myself and it sucks.
We actually talked about combining the Historical Society and.
Do you want me to go sit with this
At the
society?
same table?
We can do that. I
Yeah,
can-
why don't you do that, Catherine? I think that
Fine.
might be easier.
I can go.
And then if you're
Yeah.
tired of being there,
they're very nice.
I know, they're usually next to me. I'm usually like, they got like a big tent, the whole bit, and I'm there with one table and my little stickers.
so we're all set to go for the 27th, and we have 16 paid vendors. We have about 13 nonprofits that will be there, and I think we only have 2 booth sites left.
Well, that's good.
And we did have a little bit of interest in them.
Excellent. Well, then I will not take up one of them. With my
We can
non-paid
always make room.
chair.
We
Well,
need to propose expansion of the town common.
I had someone ask me that.
We are going to use Northwest Lawn for the Cub Scouts and Girls.
Yeah, the Girl Scouts were excited about that.
Yeah.
So, hopefully that'll go well.
And then a few few things came up and we thought, well, maybe we'll put them over there too. So,
We overflow. That's
Yeah.
nice. There, nothing else is using that space. You
right.
know, we've got like the old
I
telephone
mean, we
building.
used to have
whatever.
the library, book sale out in front, but now they're not.
Now they're
there.
not using it, yeah.
So, eventually use it for something.
Well, that'll be
Okay.
good.
Okay, so you're.
I will stay with, yeah, I can
Okay.
hang out with them. I'll bring my little, the rest of the stuff's still in the, cabinet downstairs, on there, right? So I'll bring like a little
Downstairs.
stickery sheet. I'm pretty sure it is.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure they're stuck in there. And I think we still had some bubbles left.
I think so.
I can grab some more like
Okay,
bubbles.
and I can
still
contribute,
have the
I can
sticker
contribute
sheets.
to that. If we don't have any bubbles, I'll buy some.
Okay,
That'll be
yeah.
my contribution.
I'll let you know.
You'll
I-
let me know.
And I still have some of those like the hat. I had that craft that was like
Yes, where we.
a hat thing that you decorated
Crayons,
for the, like the hat factory, so I'll bring those too.
Okay, cool. That'll probably work out well, that way you don't have to stay a whole day.
Yeah, it's a lot to do like all by yourself when you like can't leave the table.
It
and,
sure
like,
is.
just sort of like, I'm just gonna stay here because I have nothing, I'll just sit here for 6 hours or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, well, thanks so much for
Sure.
stepping forward to do that. That's great. Okay, wonderful. So, the next item on the agenda is Joan Burrow, saying the 250th anniversary Declaration of Independence.
Well, if you've come in through the lower town hall, down the ramp there on the right, there are two showcases, and one of them is now displaying the anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. And actually, Scott put them up. I can contribute some wording about it for the Declaration of Independence. But the other showcase is about the police force here in town celebrating their anniversary. So Scott, did you want to say anything about that?
No, we're happy to say that the Nipmuc Regional High School history class is now involved with letting students participate for credits and assisting. They're going to assist Joan as we head through this school year, leading up to a program in April that we will be hosting, the Historical Society, on the 250th anniversary of the signing. So that's going to start they'll probably start in another month. And they're just going to participate in kind of something Joan and I came up with on studying the various documents that went out that were copied individually by local towns and how they may differ, because the Upton document has its own paragraph that was transcribed. And so it could be interesting to study the differences between and see if there's any differences that were presented, written to the townspeople and the communities, the ones that Joan's already contacted, Mendon and Westboro, who have their original documents as we do. It'd be a really interesting study, I think, and it'll be worthy of something they can be proud of and accomplish.
Thanks, Scott.
Yeah, so that'll probably be over the next maybe 30, 45 days.
Great.
Moving along.
The next item on the agenda is the 45 Milford Street demo request. And I know we have some guests in the audience, so I was just wondering if you'd like to come up to the table, state your name and.
Yeah, I can help. My name's Steve Pine, here on behalf of the applicant. Yeah, we are requesting to demo the house. It was built in 1950. It's pretty kind of old. We've kind of abated it. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
Okay, do you have, usually when we have a demo request, people come before us, they'll provide images of what they're gonna replace the house with. It's a historic building, so we like to preserve the historic nature of the building. I had stopped by the building and it looked like the demolition had already been initiated, which is actually kind of a no-no, because you're supposed to come before us to request the demolition first before you start demoing it. So, I think people probably haven't seen the house yet, so
Yeah,
I could
because
just
that was
pass
red.
around.
I remember going into that house many years ago.
Yeah, we have not started the demos. We had to abate the property. So, and that would be even if someone,
That's not demoing?
no, ma'am, that was just the abatement crew coming in there. There's abatement often sometimes when there's asbestos, sometimes windows, on shingles, kind of on many different parts of the house. That
The
have to be-
shingles were,
I don't know if it was specifically that. No, I'm just giving you an example.
John Mastriani, General Manager, Lucas Building Co. Behind the siding was paper that had asbestos in it.
the
So
the siding was wood,
The
right?
siding was fine. It was the paper actually behind the siding that we had to remove. Yeah, a lot of houses, same with the roof, but this roof didn't have it, but yes.
We have found some asbestos in some odd places, like it is, you would be surprised sometimes.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure I've got asbestos shingling on my house.
Yeah.
It's on the house across the street, the house down the street.
Yeah,
I
because
didn't know you could have it like behind the siding.
Yeah.
I seem to remember before you guys purchased it, it had siding on it. So that was definitely removed.
Yeah.
So, to my mind, that kind of seems like initiating the demolition process. We were kind of hoping you guys would have like a presentation of what you're planning to
Yeah, what are you
build.
gonna do with it?
Yeah, I can, we are kind of considering all options. It is in a general business zone, majority of it. So, and then like up the back, maybe a third is residential. So we have owned it for over a year now at this point, and we've talked to, and are still considering many options. Nothing's been filed as of yet. But we definitely kind of want it, kind of demoed for a few different reasons. So, but I don't have anything to present at this moment.
Okay, because, the demolition kind of seemed like it was initiated already. I was kind of hoping to see your plans on what's gonna be, built there so that we could have maybe a negotiation so that we're trying to preserve the historic integrity of our town.
Mhm.
So when we lose a historical building, that's one more loss for the historical commission. So we like to have the building that it's replaced with be of a historical nature that fits into the rest of the community. So, I had printed up some images of some examples of things that I would like to see as far as,
It's not that.
historic
It's not that.
architecture. Yeah,
Yeah.
of what we might want to build. Maybe once you guys finalize your plans, you can come back, present to us what your proposal is, and then we can discuss the demolition further. But I'd like you guys to look at these images, to take into consideration architecture that we might consider if you're planning on building another structure.
I mean, the idea is just to make it have a similar architectural language to the kind of thing that was there in the past. I mean, obviously, this is a little wrinkly 1950s range house.
Yeah.
But, so like, if you're gonna build something that's bigger, then that's not gonna translate directly, but something in a similar, like, colonial-ish style, something that doesn't look ultra modern, not something that looks completely
Yeah, that's
incongruous
something.
with the rest of.
Yep.
Like a typical 40B, if that's what you guys are planning to build. We'd like to see, we're entering the historic district when we're driving through that area, so we would like it to blend in with the other historical homes if possible.
Yeah, I think, look, again, nothing's been filed yet, so we don't make any promises based off, but I think we always, try to do our best to make something fit into the historic nature kind of the community. So, like, I more than happy to kind of share later, like when something is done. However, I think at this time, we do really want to get the demo down, even if it was even if we came back and we were just gonna do another single family house, we would want the current structure demoed. On top of that, like right now, the town is like using the site for kind of helping with the improvements on the, yes, on 140 there. So there's people on the site as well, and like, it would just be and it's not in the historic district. We would just like to take it down kind of now. It's not kind of a livable space as is. And I apologize for any kind of,
What makes it not livable?
it's not,
Something wrong with the structure.
no, it's not something that we would kind of fix
It's
up.
just your personal feeling on it. You don't like it and you want it down.
Yeah. But
Sorry, the house was not livable. When we, in the year we've purchased it.
Uh,
It was not, it was beyond the ability to renovate it if we wanted to just keep that single family house. No matter what, it would have
in what
to.
way? I mean, what would?
The ceilings were very low. The asbestos that was in the house that we didn't have to remove to do any renovations. So it's really, there wasn't a lot that could be done with the structure.
So you did an engineering report on it or something to see if it, or?
We didn't go in that depth to see, what could be done other than just visually going in there.
Is the building up to code?
When was the last time someone resided in the building?
I can only go back the year we've owned it. I'm not sure.
I think there were people back in their 90s.
Was it abandoned when you bought it?
Because the roof looks relatively new and it's
Yeah.
very straight and it looks
Yeah.
sound. so.
No. Again,
I think from my
there was nobody living there when we purchased it.
If I may, Craig, from my perspective, I'm going to disagree with the rest of the commission. It's a post-World War II house. If they had applied for a demo permit 12 months ago, they wouldn't have to come and talk to us at all.
I'm not attached to it.
It would have been
It's
75.
a 1950s ranch house.
No redeeming value to the town of Upton. Yes, I'd like to see something get built there that fits into the historical nature of Upton. That's down the road.
Yeah.
How many acres is the property?
It's about 5.5 acres. We have had the wetlands flagged. I want to say approximately 1.3, give or take, it is going to be is wet. So, yeah.
So you couldn't build 2 houses on it? Or you could, I don't know what the zoning is.
It's general business zone on the majority of it, and then kind of the back third is I believe single residence B zone.
So the other structure that's on that property, there are 2 structures, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Are you demolishing that also?
Both, yes. The other one is just a barn,
Yeah.
Right,
with it had a workshop on
yeah.
the main floor.
Could we maybe negotiate something where you might agree, because we have design standards on the Upton website. Maybe we could negotiate something so we have a agreement where you would follow the design standards that are on the website if you were to build a house. Obviously, if you're gonna build a business, that might be a different thing, but being that you don't have a proposal in front of you today, maybe we just have an agreement that you follow the design standards, just so that if you do build a house there on the property or several, it would just fall into like fitting into the rest of the historic district. Mainly clapboard type siding, architecture type, something like that.
Yeah, we always follow the code and we follow the law and so that's what we want to follow, and that's what I can say right now. So the site because it has multiple zones and has a lot of possibilities, so I can't say for certain what we're gonna do, but we always we try to follow the law the best we can, and yeah, I guess that's.
We've tried to get businesses in there. We've tried to, get medical. It's just, we haven't been lucky enough to get anybody that wanted to take it. So that's why we're up in the air of what we're going to do with it.
Yeah, I know the EDC was discussing that at our last meeting too. So, I don't know, what do you want to do? Do we want to wait on this, or should we?
I don't see it.
I'd grant honestly.
I-
I don't think we're,
Doesn't make me any happier than you, losing another, but it's not a building.
there are a lot of other buildings that I would feel more upset about than that one.
Yeah.
To be,
It's not a place to stay there. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll make a motion, I'll make a motion to grant the demolition for 45 Milford Street. All those in favor?
I will second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
The requirement that we beat you up a little bit.
part of the job.
No problem.
Otherwise, we haven't done our job right.
Keep you thinking about what we'd like to see.
We always negotiate the input, so.
Very good.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, so the next item on the agenda. The next item on the agenda is First Cemetery updates.
The cemetery is slowly progressing.
Slowly restoring it all by yourself and
It
with
might
your
be slow,
friends.
but you've made a lot of progress.
We have successfully repaired and restored stones,
That's a
which is
lot.
about 5 more than I thought we could do. 3 or 4 of the stones I haven't really looked and counted were ones that I, 6 months ago, didn't think would be repaired. So they've been repaired, they're standing tall. We've got more puttying and stuff to fill the cracks. We're gonna be working on some of that Friday afternoon. I'm working on stone number 11 and number 12. Number 12 is a serious question whether we put it back in the ground, but number 11 is in about 30 pieces, and just hope we can. The good news is the part above the ground is complete. It was below the ground that was all smashed. And I've been gluing pieces back together in hopes that we can put that back up. It's not for sure yet, but it's I think it's leaning 60-70% that we might get it back in the ground and stand tall.
Yeah.
Whose stone was that?
That's David Chapin. We did his wife Martha, which they're the only 2 marble stones in the cemetery. They're the 2 white stones as you go in towards the back level. And Martha was on the ground in 6 or 7 pieces. Has probably been there for 60, 70, 80 years. And the guy that's helping me put that back together without my help, and it looks decent. The husband next to it was in the ground about 2 feet shorter, and I'm saying it's not right. The 2 stones were carved by the same carver, the same material,
Gonna
the
match.
same shape. They should somewhat match. And I found out why I had to dig a hole almost, if not over 3 feet deep to get to the bottom pieces. And it was piece after piece after piece, but
Glad you didn't meet any new friends, John.
I always say that, you wouldn't find anybody down there.
there's 2 boulders in the way of my digging, and one of the boulders I can't move, and it's in the graveside. So it's like, where did they bury the poor gentleman?
The person that transformed
It's a
into a
huge
rock.
boulder on his side of the headstone. There are still, I think I have about 20 stones on the list of, if they can't be repaired, they have to be recarved. And that's down from, I think I was at 26 or so when we started this project. So we've saved maybe 6 stones, and each stone is $3,000 or $4,000, reducing the cost of restoring the cemetery. So we're working on it. The boys from the DPW have been in there for the last 2 days, weed whacking and cleaning it. They've done a fantastic job. It looks great. Even talked to them about cutting some of the small saplings going up the roadway this winter, going in there with a chainsaw, if the boys from the DPW will do that. So, they said they will, but that and it actually happening could be 2 different.
They got a lot on their plate, especially in the wintertime. So.
I've updated the book. I've written the history of the cemetery from all of the reports that we found in the Historical Society's files. Put that all together in a comprehensive report, added a few new items to it. The first burial was stated to be 1740, but we had like 5 people die in 1736, 17.
Clearly that wasn't true.
Things like that. So I have also replaced about 20 photos that I put in the book with 20 new ones in the last week. Discovered that about 4:30 in the afternoon, the sun actually comes far enough around to shine on the face of the they're northern facing stones, all of them. And I've gotten far better quality pictures, so I continue working on that. I'm contemplating, trying to clean up the file on the broken stones that I created. And put a statement on each one on what would be expected of a replacement stone. As far as inscription and size and everything, and possibly putting that out to Whitensville Monument and the outfit in Connecticut that I had talked to back in the early summer or late spring, and having them requote the project individually, not a global quote like the guy did back in May or June, but quote individual stones, allowing us the bandwidth to individually order each stone from wherever we want to order it from. So it's not a global package that somebody says, give me
that's a
$75,000.
great idea.
And have that ready for around the time of the town meeting in November, being an optimist that we'll get approval. Because interestingly, and I think kind of disappointingly, the cemetery commission is right behind us with a warrant article asking for $400,000 to hire someone to go fix every stone in town. And I think it's the most absurd thing that the CPC didn't push back on that.
We didn't push back on it?
They did not push back. on
Which,
it.
which,
Not a single comment was made
the
other than,
ones that need to be fixed are mostly where you're fixing them, where,
well, they're in Bradish and they're in.
yeah, there's some in Bradish, there's a few in Pine.
Foundations they want poured. I mean.
They spend all this time not doing a damn thing for years.
Conversation, right, but I think it's an absurd request, an expenditure of the town's money that could be used on other more valuable projects like Holy Havens and some other things. So it would be a disservice if something like that were to get approved without attempting to gather a volunteer effort to reduce the cost of that to something that would be justifiable.
Yeah.
Because some of it's justifiable. I'm not
Yeah.
questioning that, but let's just go find a big company somewhere, which I'm not sure they can find anywhere anyways, and hire them just to come in and just give us bill after bill after bill for repairing stones. So anyway, so that's the status of First Cemetery. The repair work will continue, and all of the larger major repairs have been done. So everything from here on is broken footstones and some other smaller stuff that may not be repairable. The sad thing is that many of the stones left on the list, the bottom of the stones are gone. If you put them in the ground, you're putting the inscription in the ground.
Right.
Which is kind of defeats the purpose of saving the stone. And we can do a little more exploration to try and find the bottom of some of the stones, but I'm not optimistic we're going to find them. So it may be, we may be at the point where there's 20-ish stones that need to be recarved or recut, and the old ones stacked in the corner of the cemetery for future exploration.
Can you put like a new footing on it and epoxy the inscription onto the top of the footing, or?
Questions that I have to ask a couple of the repair guys, whether we can buy a base that this could be moved to.
Yeah.
It certainly occurred to me. We've even talked about getting something in there and cutting some of the broken ones, cutting the bottom of one and the top of the other so that they're square cuts that can be more successfully moved back together. But that's difficult.
Yeah.
We even visited, Russ and I visited Granite Company 2 weeks ago down in Mendon, Hopedale, Sudbury Granite, and asked them, and well, the answer was kind of yes, we could cut it. It would be, you got to bring it to us, and we make no promises and guarantees because state is very fragile. You know, yeah, we know all that. We're going to save a stone.
That's how we're here.
$500 saves us from spending $3,500 and saves the original stone. None of them quite like to the need. We were able to epoxy them back together without doing that.
Okay. And can you remind me, did we have was a warrant article for this
CPC's meeting last week was to approve the warrant article. They'd already written. They've written and submitted the warrant article.
Okay.
They didn't want my input.
And how much was it for again?
125,000 and 2 years to complete.
Great.
Yeah, when Paul was running it, he wanted me to write the warrant articles. That's fine with me. So they wrote the warrant articles.
Great. Well, that sounds like we're making a lot of awesome progress there.
And the hope is we get approval in November. We get tree removal, let's say sometime in the month of December or even January. And we have stone carvers start working in December, January. So that next spring, even before next Memorial Day service, we could have a few stones back in the ground, signs up and trees removed. And we would still need to find someone to go in and do some landscape grading after the tree removal. And I don't have a candidate for that yet. I've talked to no one. I'm open to any suggestions for somebody that could go in with a bobcat or something, a few workers, fill holes and grade a few things without changing the whole nature of the cemetery. And that would be done under supervision. I wouldn't let somebody just go in there and think they know what they're doing and make one mistake.
The overall, the like graves, they'll be like, oh, I'll just fill in all these dips. They're gonna be the actual like,
There's some places I wouldn't want filled. They look like they're burials.
yeah, there's a bunch of them that are burials and then some that are just like tree root.
In active cemeteries, the guys fill those.
Yeah.
But since 250 years have passed and you can see where there may be a grave where there's no headstone, I would not want that.
Right, because that's how you, in an old cemetery, figure out where people are when they don't have a headstone anymore.
It's basically around removing tree stumps and other potholes that are a safety hazard to walking through there. So that's where we're at. So it's coming along pretty good.
Yeah, well, that's great. It's awesome progress.
I have it fully documented, so if a stone now disappears, that, an interesting side note to the Colonel Ezra Wood stone that we
Yeah.
reported. So I looked at the 1998 restoration report that Fannin and Lara did. The outfit store was in the 90s to go in there and repair 6 or 7 stones. And the only portion of that stone in the report was the top piece with his name on it.
So somebody had the rest of it?
Somebody had the rest of that stone for over 30 years,
That's wild.
which, did you ever call Chip?
No. That kind of dug it.
I mean, who could have taken that stone 30 or 40 or 50 years ago and said, maybe it's time I go put the pieces in the cemetery?
I heard someone's working on the cemetery. I better put that back now. Like, what a weird thing to
Is
do.
that what happens?
I don't know.
Well, that's the sanction yet. They've heard we're working on restoring it.
Somebody put it back
Did you
now.
find it in the cemetery or just, or did?
Do you remember? It's the one that has the metal thing, the metal frame. Somebody like put money and effort into restoring that stone. They abducted the last piece that was left of it that we knew was there back in January. And then it came back with more pieces and a metal frame.
Great.
In the metal frame?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that
Yeah,
picture, yeah.
this was the only piece that was left in the grant.
So,
And this reappeared from,
so in other words, someone came back and installed that whole metal
Yes,
frame thing?
yes.
All the metal frame, put this piece, and I think there's another piece there back together, and I think it's set in a concrete base, because they also brought back another big piece that I think is the below the ground piece that they didn't repair. I think they set that into a.
They just put it in a concrete base
So they
instead.
hadn't been in there for a day to do all that repair work, and it just happened, it wasn't one of the days I went over to the cemetery, so I didn't run into them.
It's a lot of money and effort for just having it in your garage for 30 years and then.
And it's a little gaudy, which, well, there's nothing I can do with it now.
Yeah, it is what it is now.
They put a whole thing on the top with a gold cross, just not the place. It is what it is. At least they brought it back and we have the original stone, and it's probably the largest stone in the cemetery.
Yeah, it's one of
One
the,
of two
one
or
of the,
three.
like, yeah.
That's really weird.
I thought you did that.
No, that was our mystery grave person who just, it disappeared and we were mad that it disappeared and then it reappeared again with extra stone and a whole metal thing and
The
You
shame,
guys need to reach out.
nobody said anything.
so they couldn't do it in secret because they had to be there for hours
Right,
putting that thing back in a concrete base.
but neither did they be like, hey, by the way, just so you know, this is what that's about. Like, It's wild.
Maybe
It's a
they
wild
felt
thing.
guilty or they're like they're gonna get.
Was it Russ?
Huh?
You didn't do it, did you?
No, I,
He's sitting
Still
there
got-
so quietly.
We still got 10 or 12 or something of the people buried that we don't have their ancestors.
Yes, I've got lots of dead end people. They're just as dead endy as they were before. I'm sure they did. Lots of people who you're just missing like that little, you're like, he probably is that family. I can't say that for sure.
Yeah.
It's just probably that family, you know. I got a lot of plot processes. They're not very helpful. Or there's just like nobody, like, I don't know. There's nobody who has that name. Nobody in that name has.
Brilliant thought yesterday that occurred to me. There's one stone in the cemetery that said erected to the memory of Benjamin.
Oh, yeah.
There's no other, the stone is so deteriorated, whoever he was is gone. If we looked at the 1790, 1800, 1810 census and recorded every Benjamin in that census in Upton, and then determined if we know where they are, do we have a Benjamin left, but we don't know where he is, that could be that stone.
I narrowed it down to a couple of people. I thought that one had been, I'll have to check when I go home. I think we had narrowed it down to like one of 3
On the
people.
page I have one, I have 3 or 4 people. that-
Yeah. But I actually digitized, the first 2 censuses. I turned into an Excel sheet so that it could be placed.
But the interesting thing is if you go to the vital records, half of those vital records came from the cemetery.
Oh, yeah.
So if that stone couldn't be read 100 years ago, it's not in the vital records.
Now, the vital records is
But the person would have been recorded in the census if you lived in town.
60% useful.
The other thing I was going to look at some point is the style of that stone, if it's similar to any other stone they could give us. Is this stone from the 1760s, the 1800s?
Yeah,
1820s?
because if it's like a James New stone, then it's like 1790s when it was carved, and so it would have to be like 1790s or before, because we have a bunch where he carved it, but much later.
So if you take the stone out of the ground, which they did in 98 when they were doing repairs, it looks like it was carved from a piece of wood that is rotten. It's a stone that is falling apart like a piece of
Oh,
wood.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing that, yeah.
So just little chips come off of it and shreds and it's all delaminated. And so you've got the piece above the ground that says erected to the memory of Ben.
I wonder
Go
if
back
we
and
could-
see.
I wonder if we could take a stone like that and just encapsulate it in epoxy. and just-
So they used to do it in concrete or cement or something, and that's no longer the standard of care for it because the moisture differentiation causes it to delaminate like faster essentially because the concrete like holds water and then it freezes and then bad things happen to the stone on the inside.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I've ever seen anybody try to encase it just in epoxy. Maybe you could do that. Maybe that would be okay. I don't know because you're using that for the cracks. But I know people even have it in Pine Grove because I was just there when I sent you those pictures the other day. There's at least a couple that are like were originally standing, now are flat, but in concrete on the ground, and they're just they're just getting rained on and acid rained away because now
Right.
they're flat instead of standing up.
It's funny you mentioned that because it recalls watching a couple of videos a few years ago on guys that restore or make tabletops.
Right.
Huge pieces of wood.
Yeah,
And they have this 2-part clear epoxy that they mix and they fill it.
Yeah.
And they cover it with it, but they fill all of the holes.
They fill all the
It's so clear,
spaces,
you can
yeah.
see the piece of wood.
Right, yeah.
And
That's
I'm
kind
sure
of,
it's something that'll last hundreds of years. Probably very expensive. I don't know.
epoxy's pretty cheap.
I'm not sure I'm willing to go to that point, but it's.
The only thing, it would make it have a glossy finish, which might not be appropriate.
So, but I will definitely add probably something like replica UHC 2026 to any stone that we replace.
yeah, we should cite it, and then the originals, especially if they're falling apart, they can go in a shelter of some kind someplace. I don't care if it's a shed or a historical society or whatever. So that it's
The
not,
original stone at Catherine's house.
yeah, there you go, just like, just keep them, bury them in the ground, it'll be fine. As long as they're not being exposed to the rain, it'll be better. You can keep them in my basement, I've got all.
To your point, it would be great if you could carve a new stone with a hollow in it, and you can set the existing stone into the hollow.
That would be nice,
I
yeah.
know, I have one ancestor, the first Tufts, who came into America, Peter Tufts, his stones in Malden. And they did something like that. They carved a slate stone and they set his stone into, they set the original piece of stone into the,
I've seen, there's a few of those that come out. I follow like a Facebook group that's like Gravestones of New England, which if you like Gravestones of New England, you might want to check out. And I've seen a few like that, which,
I signed up to that website until I, 17 things a day, and I saw it.
and you were like, I'm good. No, that's fair. I don't have Facebook on my phone anymore, so I just check it whenever I want to. But yeah, I've seen that other places, which I think is smart.
So the book has progressed. Documentation of the cemetery has progressed. It's probably 90% done, and other things trying to get better photographs of some of the stones. And the stones have progressed in that we've repaired the 10 stones in the cemetery and standing them back up again. So all that is fantastic. So
I'm amazed at how much progress you've done.
I have purchased $96 worth of the epoxies that this guy from Bellingham was using on the stones. And given him the new stuff because we've used his stuff. So I was going to bring the invoice and ask for approval if we could submit that to the accountant for reimbursement. I'll bring that next month. And I have ordered, 2 days ago, I ordered $150 worth of the epoxy and the black putty that fills the cracks and everything else, hardens like stone and can be carved and shaped and whatnot. Since that, instead of spending $10,000 or $20,000 on repairing these stones, we spent $200. And I think that's, Russ is the one who actually said I got to submit those for reimbursement. So I appreciate
Sounds
that.
like a good idea.
So
I think it's appropriate.
if someone would make a
I
motion
make the motion that we
to approve
reimburse for the
epoxies and stuff.
epoxies and stuff for cemetery stone repair.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Karen.
Aye.
I abstained from the vote. Appreciate it. I'm very pleased with the progress. Be interesting to see
That's wonderful.
how we can get the rest of it done over the next year or so.
Yeah.
The stone standing and the sign and the gate and like I say, the DPW, I am terribly impressed. They weed whacked it 4 weeks ago and Tim's back in there now. And Tim's the one I'm working with on the cemetery. So maybe he has a reason. Nice for me. I was over there. Tim works in the DPW.
Oh, okay.
I was over there this afternoon on my way from Lakeview, looking up some problems, and I just pulled into First Cemetery to see if they'd finished weed whacking, and they were there working on it.
Oh, wonderful.
They hired a kid last week, so they got a new worker for the DPW.
Fantastic.
We've got it weed whacked right down to the ground, top to bottom of the cemetery, and take down those trees, get some stones, and put up a sign that's gonna look like it should look for the town of Upton.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Cemetery's got a lot of
I wonder
TLC.
if Mr. Simonetta has gone and visited there since he did the original cleanup.
get his email, I just send him an email,
I
say,
didn't
"Go
see
take a look,
him
we're still working on it."
probably within the last 6 months, and I said to him, you know, the cemetery still looks great.
He's the one we hired 3-4 years ago in the cemetery commission. I was on it.
When
Hired him to
everything
go in
was
there
so
and
overgrown.
clear all the brush and the overgrowth and the poison ivy and the everything else. He cut down more trees than,
Yeah.
what,
He did.
this
fantastic
diameter.
job.
Yeah, it's good to get them on it, yeah.
Yeah, well, the trouble is they go from this diameter, pretty soon you're taking a chainsaw and it's out of control again. I mean, that's what happened. All those pine trees in there weren't there when they created that cemetery.
Yeah,
Let's not take care of it for 30 years and pretty soon we got 100-foot tall pine trees
it
that
happens fast.
smashing the stones and
Yeah, it surprises me that they didn't take care of it. When the people who were buried there had been buried within essentially living memory. Like, I wonder at what point those trees started up. Was it like in the mid 1800s, so those people
When
were.
they take them down, you count three.
I genuinely want to know. I would be really interested because it's such an unusual thing to sort of neglect the cemetery to that extent. If you still have relatives who were buried there.
In my opinion, those trees are between 1900 and 1920.
Okay, so they're long enough ago, or like
They're not
more recent
1800s.
enough that those people were like, oh, well, those are old people. We don't care about
The
them.
last burial was 1846.
Yeah, which is why the tree's confusing.
There's no pine in there there's no pine in there, I don't think it's more than 120 years
Okay.
old.
Yeah, I would be interested when
Experience in
we,
my house taking down pines in Upton that were the same shape, and they were all 1904, 05, 06,
okay,
which appears when they stopped farming or grazing cattle or whatever
Yeah.
they were doing in my neighborhood. They look to be the same size trees. So, but there's a couple, I took one stone out of the ground yesterday that I glued back together, the pieces that are there, it's not much of it. And I took it out of two huge roots off a stump, and it must have been one of the trees they took down in 2014. They took down some trees. Yeah. Because the stump is right there and the two roots came down. They went right around the stone and the stone was down in the, I was surprised to get it out, but there was no bottom to the stone. And the top of the stone is missing and the side piece is missing. Everything that's there is what's carved, which is amazing.
Huh.
But it looks absolutely awful. The Lydia Pease.
Hmm.
So the impression I got from reading all of the records over the last 6 months is that that cemetery has long been, long time.
When the first meeting house was down here, 1735. And they moved it up here
Well,
to
the last
1770.
burial was
I think that's when the
1860.
interest, they lost interest in the.
yeah, I think that was, when did they open
Established
Lakeview?
Lakeview. Well, was it Pineville first and then.
First cemetery was from 1735 to the last burial that we know of, 1846.
Right.
Second cemetery was mid to late 1750s, early 1760s. So it took over not long after first cemetery was created. And burials started going in there in the 1760s, 70s, and 80s.
Right,
And Bradish, of course, was 17 something.
yeah, Bradish was geographic though. I wasn't like, that, there was a whole fight between, North Upton wanted to be its own town,
North Upton and South.
which is part of like, they had a little like fight about wanting to be their own town.
Newspaper.
Yeah, it was like a whole thing. And I think that plays into,
North Upton was basically South Westboro. Yeah, all Westboro people.
Yeah.
Well, the meeting house down there.
I don't want to go all the way that way, which is fair. I wouldn't want to walk all the way that way in 1740 when there's no road and everything is like mud and whatever either. When it's
You had to go to church.
January and I'm legally obligated to go to church anyway. Doesn't sound like a fun time. I like church fine, but when it's, 10 degrees and you gotta walk through like the whole forest to get there.
We put a list of 100 burials in the book that I put together.
Yeah,
That died prior to 1800 in Upton, who cannot be associated with any cemetery.
Yeah.
So there's 130-ish burials, and there's another 100, of which I would believe that probably 80 to 90% of them are in First Cemetery.
yeah, I suspect that cemetery was pretty full. And that's why they then were
Because
like,
second
let's make Pine Grove.
Cemetery, Pine Grove, is very little indication of burials without a headstone.
Right, they're almost all have headstones. It seems like that one's chock full too, I think.
Yeah, it is.
It's very like,
It wasn't as rocky.
yeah, I mean, any place you can find in this area that doesn't have a granite ledge directly underneath it seems like good.
And all the records say Lakeview
Yeah.
started in 1849, even though there are a handful of stones with early dates that may not have been burials. They may have been cenotaphs.
Yeah, I think that maybe the opening of Lakeview coincides with like sort of the emotional abandonment of
Absolutely.
First Cemetery.
And the First Cemetery. So there's no records that I have to indicate any maintenance or anything in First Cemetery after the burial in 1846. And back then, I mean, if it was if it was goats mowing it.
Right.
It certainly wasn't lawnmowers, and it certainly wasn't weed whackers. It would have been a scythe.
And a scythe or a sickle or a goat, yeah.
So maintenance is a modern thing, but allowing trees to grow is a whole nother story.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to have long grass and wildflowers and whatever, but to have it neglected to the point that you've got huge trees just hanging out there really means that you've completely forgotten it. You're not even like, oh, well, we go back every year for July 4th or whatever. There's no like,
But we have the Memorial Day
sense of support.
service there every year.
Well, I'm glad that we do that now. I wonder when it became a thing that we did, that we sort of like went back to
How
it.
long has there been a ceremony at First Cemetery?
Oh, it's about 1965.
I was looking at.
I would say 1965 or 6. Chet Walker.
Cemetery.
So maybe it was well and truly forgotten for a long time.
And
I'll have the satisfaction of restoring it and the creation of a book that hopefully will fully document everything that's known about it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, the commission staff services down there. Memorial Day.
Well, my children are back in school now, so I can have 9 whole hours a week to actually work on things.
we can have a few more meetings then. So I'm pretty much busy on the other cemetery project 4 days a week.
Moving right along.
Sorry.
Before I fall asleep.
Okay, so the next item on the agenda is social media update and review. Patrick, I see you're on the line. Any updates?
What up? No updates, just, I know I emailed everyone kind of that map project I've been working on.
Yeah,
and,
I liked your map. It was cool. I didn't want to like
I
respond back.
couldn't
'cause
open it.
I didn't want it to be like an open meeting thing, but it was cool.
I wasn't able to
Oh,
open.
thank you. Oh, no.
But then again, I'm
Um,
not swift on that kind of stuff.
Do you want me to like,
So it,
I'll vote for it before my house.
well, you should have told me to put you on the 20 list that I gave to Patrick, because I don't know if you did all the things that I gave him, or I didn't cross check it, or if you put other things like.
we have, so right now we have at least 12 sites on the map. As for the other 8, so it's just putting those on. I'm trying to match, kind of like I said in like my email to Craig and to a few people. I want to match it to like what's there like right now and put it with something from what was there. So I know, Joan, I want to talk to you about putting the school sites on there. And I also want to, after our visioning walk on West Upton visioning thing on Saturday, I also kind of want to mark what is technically West Upton, are like, with the proposed, like with the historic district for that. And that's like for like phase 2, phase 3. But this is it was just kind of like a pilot to see how it would look. Like if it looks great and if folks like it, it's also something we can like link on the town website. So if people go on our page, they can also check out some of the historic sites within their neighborhood. And it's a nice kind of piece. Like if you come to Upton, it's like, here, we have these markers, we have these locations, check them out. I do want to add kind of like small blurbs. So I want to connect with some of the society folks and kind of just basically kind of run through what do we want to highlight, what are key things. So if there are things folks want highlighted, if there are like key things, please by all means share and I can update it. What's nice is the software is free. We don't have to really pay like anything like exorbitant unless like we want some more kind of like bells and whistles to the thing.
Patrick, do you have a copy of the walking tour that was published back in, I'm thinking 1990?
I think it actually is on the website right now, if you don't.
The walking tour?
Yeah, it used to be. I think it still is. If now we can find it, but it was one of our like our older links that just grandfathered in at this point.
If someone has the link and would like to share it, I would love to take a peek. I mean, what's cool is I can take that map, I can transpose it onto there. There's a way to do it what's really cool is I can also do a timeline feature that can show Upton from 1735 to now.
Do we have
That
a
one's
choice?
going to be a bit. What's
Sorry,
that?
go ahead.
Oh, what's going to be a little tricky is I would need maps or visuals from the different decades of Upton throughout the 200 almost, or sorry, over the 300 years. So that would be another task. I'll have to kind of reach out to the society if love to see
Yeah,
what we have in our collection of maps.
I've got some of that I can give you because there's maybe like 4, I want to say. There's definitely 3 in the original, in the book. Carol made one for 1790. What year is that one?
1790.
95.
I don't remember what year. Somebody else knows. I just don't remember off the top of my head. And then there's 2 other ones that are in the book that they sell at the Historical Society. And I think we also have like access to Sanborn maps. I don't know if you're familiar with those. They were fire insurance maps. So as you zoom in, you can use some of those. They show certain parts of the town, but not the entire town because it's showing the more densely packed buildings. So it shows West Upton and the factory and the center of town really well. So it might be useful as well for that. I can send you what I have, or at least the links to where I found what I had, depending on what the size of the map is. And of course, there's the actual paper map that's in the book. The historical walking tour is actually on our uptonmass.gov or uptonmap.gov website, but I will link the PDF in an email to you. So you have it. But it is also
I will take everything and anything. I'm like the good SpongeBob. I'll take anything that comes and, put it to good use. Then of course I know, Craig saw this, we definitely had a nice reach out from the new MISCO PTO person. And so they are looking to partner, kind of like, I know Scott said it earlier in the meeting tonight about some of the things the high school's doing. But we have folks from the middle school that are looking to partner, not just with the society, but with the commission as well, which is great.
Yeah, I was pleased to see that. Do you know there's a history teacher at Nipmuc that got an award for being like the best teacher or something? I don't remember exactly what the context was. I know she was like the Massachusetts one who won. I know she's a history teacher. I was wondering if she was doing anything or had anything in her curriculum that might be useful. But I heard that, I think Scott said that or maybe you said it, Joe, that the Nipmuc students were getting credit for helping the society. And I was wondering if that was.
They haven't helped us
Yep.
yet.
They haven't actually done
But
anything.
if I mispronounce her first name, apologies. Akidia is the cultural arts chair for the Misco Hill PTO for the middle school, and she's very open to a lot of collaboration. And it seems Misco has also a brand new principal, and it seems she is also very receptive to getting involved with things within the town. And that's, to me, that is an amazing sign, because it's kind of like a domino effect. Once you have one admin, you get all the admins, and that opens the door to all the other schools. Like we have it with the elementary, with third grade coming, to the historical society, and now with the high school and what they're going to be doing with Joan and with the 250th. Now we have the middle school. To me, we're setting those flags where they need to be. Now it's just getting these kids into our programs and into kind of the work we do, and it's all good. It's all kind of like we're there, and it's just slowly just bringing them in, which is going to be awesome.
If I may interject, it's Scott Garland here. Darcy Daniels is the contact at Nipmuc.
Yeah, that's who I meant, Darcy.
Yeah,
Okay.
Darcy, Brian, and Matt are the teachers for U.S. History 2, which includes the civic projects that the
Okay.
class is involved in. We've already got 10 of the Nipmuc high school students signed up for an event that we're sponsoring in January for the National Park Service. And there's a flyer on it in the lower level of the town hall if you want to take a look at it. But it's basically transcribing 80,000 original Revolutionary War pension files, widows and survivors, documents that have never been transcribed before that were found. And they're going to go as part of the National Archives. So it's an ongoing project that the National Park Service has just set up. Again, it's on January 14th at the community center. The maximum attendance is 25 people. You must bring your own laptop or iPad. It's going to be under the supervision of a national park ranger by the name of Allison. We've already got, I kind of capped it at 10 right now if I don't get more people signed up. So it's a regional thing. There's people coming in from other towns that are interested in participating. So I capped the student participation to 10.
Where do
Darcy's
these
handling that.
80,000 records reside?
So these are actually, they could include Upton residents. I'm not sure. I haven't got the detail on where they were found, but
US archives or?
there's 80,000. Yeah.
It's the pension records? Because I've read some of the pension records that are already digitized. Are they're
Well,
transcribing them?
These are undiscovered. These are
Oh,
newly
they're
discovered.
new and exciting. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I love new and
and-
exciting.
Well, as Allison explained to me, there are local records in here. They are pretty much New England based, I guess. But I haven't gotten to greater details with me. Barry Lynn is going to help me with this project, and we're going to sponsor. And Joan doesn't know it either, but.
Scott, where were the documents discovered?
I don't know any of the details.
Send it, when you find them out, if you find them out, send it to us because we're curious.
Yeah, I may
Let
have
us
already
know.
forwarded. Craig, did I not send you? Yeah, I think I did. I think I sent you the invitation. But
Okay.
I'll resend it. I'll resend it to the entire board. I can send it out to everybody.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I'm glad you're getting to do that.
Yeah, they reached out to Blackstone Valley towns, and I think a couple responded.
Topics.
I had-
I just
What's
want to make
that?
sure they're gonna go to sleep on us.
Oh, no, Catherine was just asking what else we had on the agenda.
Okay.
Yeah. I gotta put kids to bed and everybody else has to put themselves to bed, so wanted to see where we were, that's all.
Okay, so moving on, topics not reasonably anticipated.
We didn't say anything about the 300, right?
Oh, we skipped that. Did you have anything?
No, the only thing is I think I'm going, when I talk to Ken about the other account, I'm going to ask him about the account that's listed as what was left from the 250th anniversary in a fund. And it's something like 6,000 something dollars. And I did ask him one time if that could be transferred to a 300.
We should just have a town anniversary account, something
Yeah,
number
right,
like that.
right.
I
So,
think we could simply make a motion, to move that money or to rename the account it's in as the 300th anniversary
Right,
account. and
right,
see if anybody
right.
pushes back.
well, I'll ask him.
It may not be under our like jurisdiction, the selectmen might have to do that,
Right.
but I would think we could just
Ask for forgiveness later.
see if anyone notices.
If we
I'll
can
ask
transfer this.
Ken if we can rename that account to the 300.
It's not like you're gonna use it on the 250th again.
No,
so, like,
I don't think anybody's coming to take anything out of it for that.
They haven't used it in 25 years.
We actually have some T-shirts and some caps.
It looked, I've seen the pictures from that party. I'm disappointed that I wasn't there because it looks like a fun time.
It was a big deal.
There were like floats and the whole bit.
And it rained. The parade was sand.
Was that when they gave out those coins?
Yes.
Yeah.
They
still
had
have them.
coins, they had
I'm like, I'm
plates.
bummed I didn't live here. It looks fun.
Yeah.
I remember.
And we've got 4 times as many people here today as we did for.
We'll see how many of them show up to help.
Remember 50.
Craig,
Yes, yes, Scott.
can I just throw one question so it gets on your minutes and then
Yes, please.
future discussion? I had a resident call me and kind of jog a memory of a time capsule that was buried in the Noel Racine building back at the 250th anniversary. I did participate in the program and participated in what was put into it. I believe it was the Historical Commission at the time that was in charge of the whole event. And I know Peterson's Funeral Home provided the right. Help me, Ed. What's it called? Not the mausoleum, but the case that the box went into. So it was actually like professionally done and sealed by the undertaker at the time. So there is somewhere there in the front yard of the Noel Racine building a time capsule that was supposed to be open on the 300th anniversary. So if you just throw that up for a future discussion, we can kind of look back and see what the plans were, but I don't remember what they were.
So
I
in
had
other
just come on-
words, Scott, you're saying that we should, as we're anticipating for the 300th anniversary, we should anticipate having an event where we open that time capsule.
Yes, well, it was the it wasn't the Historical Society that organized it. I believe it was the Historical Commission with the plan that on the 300th that it would be unearthed.
Okay.
So there's something to think about.
Yeah, I think we should definitely.
I did have a resident call me and ask me about it. I was like, oh, yeah, I kind of remember that.
I know I've seen it on the lawn there.
Yeah, there's a plaque for it.
Yeah, we should definitely include that as an activity. Good suggestion, Scott.
My kids put stuff in there.
All right, well, thank you, everybody. I
Just
enjoyed
read
listening.
This teaching, my own class.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm sure that school had everybody put stuff in it because that's what you would do if you were having such.
Cool, yeah, that'd be fun. Oh, and with that being said, does that mean we should put in another time capsule for the 325th?
I know there's a video of the event. I remember that. So somewhere at the
Like we
Historical
should see
Society, there probably is a video.
25 years is not that long.
Right.
I know it. 50 years.
We can open it and then put it back. We can be like, this is
Well,
the.
just close it up.
Save it for the next, we'll check back in 25 years.
So what year is it actually happening, this 300th?
2035.
25.
I think we'll still be here by then.
1735 and 300.
No, I was.
I'm planning on it.
Do our best.
Okay, 2035. Okay, that should be interesting. Okay. It's Joan's fault, she was my teacher. Okay, next meeting.
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry, did anyone else have anything else that wasn't anticipated? Scott, Patrick?
I'm good.
All set.
Okay.
Anyone?
October 8th, October 15th, October 22nd. Those are Wednesdays.
October,
8, 15, and 22nd. What do we want?
oh, you know what? Does anyone mind if we switch this to Thursday? Because I'm having conflicts with other
That's
meetings.
fine for me. It used to be on Thursday.
Move the other meetings.
I can't move on. This is the only one I can move.
Yeah, Thursdays Thursday's actually better for me
Is it?
because
Okay.
I have my daughter's gymnastics like right before this, which is why I was like booking it here because we got home like 15 minutes before I had to be here.
So
So
9, 16, or 23.
Let's see. Doesn't matter to me really. 9/16 or 9/20. Patrick, are you good for moving to Thursdays? For our next meeting?
That works for me.
Works for you? So do you have a preference, 16th or the 23rd?
Either one works for me.
Right, it works for me too, either one. Does anyone have a preference?
Motion that we have the next meeting, October 16th
Yeah.
at 7 PM in the
Sure.
shop.
yeah, sounds good.
16.
October 16th. Does that work for you, Russ? Is that a good day for you, Russ?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. All right, that's approved. Let's do it. Meeting adjourned.
Good. Aye.